Welcome to MB Tech. My name is Matt Bingham, and today we're going to be going over setting up NFS storage to the Proxmox server itself. The NFS storage has already been set up on a Unify. Basically, it's the Unified NAS that's out. I'll be doing a video on that as well. But basically, the storage is there. We just need to connect to it. And I'm just going to go through the way that you connect to a NFS server on there. Also, do a little bit of iPerf3. Determine network speed between the two and make sure that we have a good network connection. Okay, our next step is going to be installing an NFS server for storage on here. So we will log back into our Proxmox server. Once we're logged in, what we're going to do is make sure that we can reach our NFS server and make sure that we can connect to it. So one of the first things what we're going to do is we're actually going to go to the shell and try to see if those shares are available on the NFS server. Now, the NFS server that I'm using is actually the Ubiquity or Unify NAS server. So all I did is I created a directory on there, and then from there we can actually connect and see that share. So it's just a regular share on the Unify NAS, and I know the IP address, so we can just do a show mount -e and then the IP address of the server itself. So if we run that command and NFS server is running and everything is set up properly, we will see the share points that they have for that server. So we can see that these are very long ones, which I don't particularly like, but that's just the way that the Unified NAS sets that up. And then what we're going to do here is we see that we got the Proxmox storage right here. And then these are the IP addresses that have access to it, to the right-hand side. I've restricted it to specific IP addresses so that there is no possibility of a rogue client or some other type of system connects to that. Proxmox home, go to the shell, do our show mount, the IP address of the server. And we can see that we've got the list of production, Proxmox storage, and data. We are going to set up the Proxmox production for an NFS mount. So the way that we do that is we go into our data center. From our data center, we go to storage. Here we click add. We are going to click NFS. Wants an ID, so I'm just going to call this NFS production. Server is the IP address of our NFS server. So I want to export it. So if we click this down, we should see all of the different ones. So there's the Proxmox production and Proxmox storage. So we're going to say Proxmox production. And then it wants to know what type of content we want to allow in there. So what we can do here is we definitely want, in content, we definitely want disk images. We can say backups as well. ISO images are fine, container, snippets, and container temp. So we've got a bunch. So we just added a whole bunch of those so that we can have those on there. NFS version on this, I believe, is only a 3 now. But when it goes to 4, we can change that. And then we're going to hit add. So now we've got the NFS production here. And as we can see over on this left-hand side, we are going to be able to have backups, VM disk, CT volumes, ISOs, templates for the non-VMs with LXCs, and then snippets. So everything looks good. We've got everything that we want here. Obviously it's blank because we just created it. There's nothing in here. So next thing that we are going to do is if we go to the NFS, I have found some slowness on some systems. So I want to verify that we've got the speed that we are expecting. So what we can do here is we can actually go Dell here, and we're going to do an app install iPerf3. Say yes. But we don't want it to start automatically, so we don't need to do this test all the time. So we're going to say no to that. So now our iPerf is installed on our Proxmox server. The other thing that we do need to do is we also need to log into our NFS server. And the way we SSH into it is we select the control plane, and then we can go to console, and we can see here SSH, and this is how we SSH in. You change password, enable it. It needs to be 12 characters. It needs to be 12 characters for the password. This will be SSH password for our NFS server itself. Click enable. We're going to putty into that server. This is to log in, so we're going to log in as root. And then the password that we just put in. Okay, we are now logged into the Unify NFS server. And then from here, we just want to make sure to see if iPerf 3 is installed. So it is now in server mode, running and listening. And now we can go back to our Proxmox server. And then from here, we're going to do iPerf 3 -c, and then our server IP address, so 192.168.252. Hit enter. And it's going to be doing a test. And here we can see that our final bit rate here is 810 megabits per second and 804, which is about right. It's 80% approximately of whatever your available bandwidth is. So here we have a gig, and we'll run it at about 80%, 81%. So that's a acceptable connection speed and stuff like that. So we seem to be good between the client, the Proxmox server, and the NFS server. I know that wasn't actually testing the NFS side, but that was just checking the bandwidth available on that pipe between the two. So that looks good. We can stop that from running on the server, and we can exit out of that, so we do not need to be in there anymore. And then just for security reasons, we're going to go back here and uncheck the SSH on our storage. That has been now disabled for SSH. So here's our NFS drive, and we're all set to go. Everything looks good there. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. That was setting up the NFS server storage to the Proxmox server 9.1.2. We also did a little iPerf test in between there to make sure that we had a good bandwidth, or the network connectivity was looking good between the two. I hope you enjoyed that. If you would, please like and subscribe. If there's something you'd like me to cover, please let me know in the comments. And I hope you have a great rest of the day.